Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back to Highway Linux. Cash, what's going on? Aaron Perry, how are you? What is going on? How art thou? This show is going to be loaded tonight. D said don't go over because we got things to do. But I'm trying, D. I'm trying. I'm trying, D. We even started earlier. Mr. Vernon, how are you doing? Felicia M, how are you? If you didn't catch Saturday's show, Tech Stocks and Jobs, I had to end it. I had to cut the string. Not because people were acting up, but I just had to cut the string. If not, I was gonna keep going. We was gonna be there all day. I had to set it off. Like Cleo say. I had to set it off. Ophelia, what's going on? Shout out to the members. Shout out to the wheel members. The wheel real. I was thinking about the title of this show tonight. And I think I want to call it Linux to Wealth. That's what I want. That's what I had in my head. That's what I had in my head. Linux to Wealth. And people would say, well, what do you mean by that? You ain't been to my shows. You know, I talk about it all the time. All the time I talk about it. I got everything set up. Farron, you be okay. Just wait till you start bootstrapping Linux. And you got multiple servers you got to bootstrap against. That's when you really know. That's when you really take a dive. All right. We got some folks in here. Let's get busy. All right, Linux to Wealth. What am I talking about? Well, I'm talking about how to take your skills, how to make those skills work for you and take them to the next level. But not only to the next level, we're talking about to the level of wealth. And people have a definition of what that means, of what wealth means. All right. What does that mean? What does that actually mean? Well, when I talk about it, I'm talking about it from this standpoint here. Get my browser over here, make my pointer, and let's go. Okay. So I went and looked up some websites basically to talk about wealth. All right. Some of you may consider wealth 100,000. Some may consider wealth 200,000. Some may consider wealth 500,000. Some may consider wealth 10 million. Right. But what is wealth? What does that mean? What does that mean? All right. So it says, and let's not confuse wealth with earnings. Like, yes, you need to earn some money, I didn't say you had to work for it, but you got to earn some type of income in order to have some type of money going into something. So Linux to wealth. Let's go. It says, how much do you make to be in the top 1%, 5%, and 10%? Everybody know across all these YouTube channels. Everybody always talk about if you're making $100,000, you're asking for the top 10% of people in the United States that make $100,000, and you're asking them to do blah 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 blah, whatever. All right, so you can make the money, but you also got to keep it. But we're gonna get into it. All right, so let's define our wealth here. It says you'll need to earn over six figures to be in the top 10%. So we're gonna go ahead and throw that conversation right out the window, right? So over six figures. When I hear over six figures, that's over 800,000. That's over 900,000. That's over 999,000, 999,000. That's what that's over, right? All right. So top earning brackets uh vary considerably depending on where you live in the country. As states differ in terms of cost of living, average income, and job opportunities. Unsurprisingly, the top five states with the highest earners are all on the East and the West Coast. East and the West Coast. Growing your earnings to join those in the top income brackets might seem like a remote possibility, but it doesn't have to be. All right. So, how much do you need to earn to be in the top 10% income bracket? And this is of 2022. It says it found that you need to be at 167,000 in 2021 to be in the top 10%. So 100,000 is not going to get you in the top 10%, maybe the top 20, but not the top 10. All right. However, there's a difference. There's a difference between those in the top half and the bottom half of the top 10%. Those in the top half earned around 223,000, while those in the bottom earned approximately 133,000. Not 100,000, not 120, but 133. Right? So we've already kind of thrown that myth out the window. It says, how much do you need to be in the top 5%? In the top 5%, you needed to have 335,000. That's what you needed to earn to be in the top 5%. Right? And then how much do you need to be if you're going to be in the top 1%? Over 819,000. And the top 0.1% was 3 million. Right? And this is according to 2021 Economic Policy Institute report. I'm sure there's one for 2023 that we can go look at, but this is close enough for my argument. All right. These stats highlight economic inequality at a national level. If you want to increase your income and break into the top 10, 5, or even 1%, it says seek a financial advisor. I'm going to tell you to seek your skill sets. Seek your skill sets. Okay. Then it goes into the income distribution. So if you were in the top 1% in Arkansas, it's 411,000. If you're in the top 1% in California, it's 745,000. If you're in the top 1% in Florida, it's 623,000. Massachusetts 810, New Jersey 760, New York 770, Texas 594, Washington State 685, West Virginia 350, right? But if you want to be in the top 5% in Arkansas 183. So those that working at Walmart could probably come in at the top 5%. in Arkansas. Those in California earning 300,000, top 5. Top 5 dead or alive. Connecticut, Florida. So it looks like if you go in around about, I'm gonna say 320, we even bump it up to 350, but 320 in any of these states, you're gonna be in the top 5%. Yeah, 320 in any of these states gonna get you at the top 5% of the threshold. All right, so we can say our range is from 133 to 320. All right. I got one more we can look at. How much income? This is from Investopedia. So let's go with D. Let's go with 134K to 320K puts us in the top 5%. All right. So how much income puts you in the top 5%, 10%? Now this is from 2023, October 2023, and this is from Investopedia. All right. So waiting for this little ad to stop. All right, Investopedia. Whenever we want to get this ad to stop, thank you, ad. Minute. Come on, ad. Can I get you to stop? They're running my high. All right. Anyway, so from an Investopedia standpoint, let's see if I can start. There we go. From an Investopedia standpoint, we got we got 2021. They're still pulling from the same economic policy. It's the same thing. They're still pulling from 2021 annual economic policy. So it's the same thing. No different. So they're same report, pulling the same thing. So we don't need to go through all of this because they're just pulling from that same report. And if I refresh this real quick, I won't go away, but whatever. We get the gist. All right, so now we know from 120 to 134,000 to 320,000. That's our range. So from Linux to wealth, we want to be in that range. I say you want to be at a minimum of 200 to 250, but I'll play with you and say 134. Fine. I really prefer you to be at 200 to 250. But okay, that's fine. Now, this range I'm talking about, you got to ask what skills are those? Where can I get those skills? And how do we know that these are the skills that we're going to need, right? So, let's talk about it. All right. So, I went and looked up just humor from a Glassdoor perspective because I know some of y'all use Glassdoor. I'll switch off sometime and use Dice, Glassdoor, whatever. We can see now, if we look at here, it says the total salary range from Morgan Stanley. If you went and worked at Morgan Stanley, a Linux engineer will run in between 132 to 201. So that's going to give us our top 5% right there. So I've been telling you Linux to wealth. So I'm giving you that range, 134,000 to 320,000. So this falls in our range. And it even tells you the median total pay 162K. So we're falling in our range, right? Now, the trick is, how do we get out of that range? That's one, and move up. Number two is, what do we need to get to that range? Excuse me. And number three is, in that range, what should I be doing? What are my pillars of Linux to wealth? What are my pillars? What do I need to be doing consistently? All right. So let's go look at this and blow it up some. All right. Here, base pay 121 to 180,000. The median is on 147, and then we have the total pay of 90.7. And then we got a bonus from 11,000 to 21,000 or 15K a year for a bonus. So, like I say, you could roughly get bonuses. Bonuses can vary 15,000, 30,000, 40,000, 100,000. They vary. All right. So it says, how does a Linux engineer at Morgan Stanley compare with the base salary for this job? It says the average salary for a Linux engineer is 142, which is 12% lower than Morgan Stanley. Morgan Stanley coming in around 162. Then they got reviews and so forth and so on, right? All right. So I just gave you, I call this like a mid to me when we're talking about salary wise. This is like, and when I say that, I want you to be clear when I say that. Um, Let me pull up my lucid chart, and I updated it. Mm, mm, mm. All right, so let's go here and let me pull over my lucid chart, and let's see right here, and let's pull this over because this falls in line with what we've been talking about. All right, so here that Linux admin 65 to 100K. Okay, yay. You got started. You got your RHCE. You got your Red Hat cert. You know a little bit about containers, but you really haven't. You're only working in sysadmin, so you'll be around 65 to 100K, give or take. Then you hit senior. Senior can vary because senior could be 120 to 160. It could be 90 to 160. It can vary depending on the company, how they bid it, the contract, how they're looking at that particular position. So it could really change. All right, back to the diagram. So staff Linux sysadmin could be 160 to 200, but I've shown you where staff could be at 253. Right? I've shown you that could be 253. Now we kind of getting into that staff. So to me, starting out, depending on your skill set, I already told you from the PowerPoint slide that I brought up on Saturday. I'm gonna bring it back over. Let's let's see. Bring it back over. 3 to 5 years. 3 to 5 years, right? And what I'm saying is you could use the certifications to cut down that 3 to 5 years, meaning like you use the certifications to get ahead to understand, but at the same time, you're working them 3 years, you're grinding, you're setting a foundation. Year 4, 5, you're looking like, okay, I really like this aspect of tech. So I want to use my Linux skills to get into this aspect of tech. And then your 6 to 10, that's when you're like, I'm honing in. I've committed myself to this. But I can add skills. But my foundational skills gets me this. My foundational skills at any point in time, I need these first two levels right here. I can go back. I know in these two levels right here, just as a Linux admin with some automation and some cloud. And I say automation, I mean configuration management and infrastructure as code. Those two together, you can get 100,000, right? So at a base, I might not be in the top 5%, where I'm saying the top 5% is the 134,000 to uh, 320,000, but I can be in the top. I could be in the vicinity of, and if push come to shove, if I've made it all the way up here and I was like, you know what, in retirement, I want to take it easy, I can hop down here and relax, do my job, go home, and I could still be at 135,000 if I wanted to, right? so I could be in that range and still be okay, right? So again, I even in my retirement, I can still be in the top 5, 10, 20%. And when I say retirement, meaning I retired from work, but I still work on the side. I still got some money coming in. I'm still going instead of I retired at 60, but the from 60 to 67, I can still work at a job and still just bank all of that. All right. So let me show you what I'm talking about. So say I retire at 60, right? And I got a little nest egg coming in or something like that. I got some money that I can draw down from. And let's say let's do 150,000. And let's say my expenses is low, and let's multiply by point 0.7, and let's divide that by 12. That's 8750 a month. At 8750 a month, if I got everything paid off or whatnot, I could bank after I pay myself, because that's what we do, right? I can I can give myself a nice little $2,000 to play with, and I can still bank $6,000 a month. 6,000 times 12, 72,000. All right. So I can still bank 72,000 a month that I put up, right? Remember, I got another little nest egg that I'm already drawing down from, but I'm still gonna be able to replenish that nest egg too, because I'm gonna pay myself 2,000 to play with. Maybe I get 6,000 a month. Maybe I get 10,000 a month. Maybe I get 12,000 a month. Maybe I get 15,000 a month. Maybe I get 10. I don't know. How will you decide to do that? But here's another thing on the back end, I can still have on a slow day some money coming in. And when I say a slow day, meaning I'm not working as heavily. I'm not doing 60, 70 hours a week. I got a little time. All right, so I got a little money coming in, right? So I pay myself. I got 6,000, almost $7,000 going into account, right? So if I want to, right, from 60 to 67, all right, from 60 to 67, we're gonna play with this money. We got 6,700. Uh, yeah, we'll just do 6,700, and we got another 6,700 that go in every month. We're gonna say we're gonna do that for 7 years. This could be in an IRA if we want to, right? It could be in a brokerage account if you want to. And we're just gonna do 8% right here. And then let's do a variance there, right? So we still could have in 7 years another 728,000 from 60 to 67, right? That I'm just not throwing that in there. I'm just like, oh, I see it, throw it in there. Right. So again, from 60 to 67, I could still do this if I wanted to. Now, if I don't want to do it, I don't have to, but I'm just showing you, even with your build, even as you build up with being a Linux engineer or using Linux as your way to create wealth, you could still have wealth in retirement that you're generating off of your skills, whether you're consulting, whether you are doing government contracts, whether you are utilizing your skill sets. Maybe you are managing folks and you're not doing it. But again, you can still use that. Remember, 134K to 300K, 320K could be your sweet spot there and still generate some income. Put a 1 in the chat if you understand what I'm saying. Put a 2 in the chat if it don't make sense at all. All right. All right. So our goal for us that I think everybody should be working towards is this director level, and maybe even a VP level. So The further you go up the scale, the further and further less technical you become. Now it's about managing people, personalities, and so forth. Now, if I gotta manage people and I'm 60, that's okay, but I need to be getting paid. But what if I don't want to manage people? Again, I can go back down here to my source of truth and do this thing here, right? All right. Biden Harris administration awards record-breaking $178 billion in federal procurement opportunities to small businesses. This came out April the 29th. Goes back to the theme of what I'm saying. You could be a small business and be a Linux engineer and get on some government contracts. You could be a consultant. You could be a 1099 worker for someone else. You could be a 1099 worker through your own company. You could be a W-2 worker for someone else that's on a contract. You could be 1099 with someone else on a contract, right? So let's look at this. So they hosted a round table, right? I'm gonna go out a little bit. And it says the historic level amounts to 178.6 billion investment in the small business economy, an increase of 15.7 billion from the previous fiscal year, and supports more than 1 million good paying jobs in manufacturing, construction, research development, technology, and defense, and other vital industries. Defense is gonna always be here. They're gonna always need Linux folks. They're gonna always feed you. You can't you can't tell me it's not gonna feed you. Listen, the only way that you don't get fed in the defense industry is because you chose to go into sales and not do nothing with yourself. And you just wanted to stay sales and not do it not with yourself. I'm telling you, be technical and do sales. Be technical and be a scrum master. Be technical and be a director. Because now you get to choose how you want to move, not somebody pigeonholing you to what that is. Right? So it also says the Biden Harris administration is proud of the federal government record high of 178 billion in contract spending with small businesses, including veteran-owned, small disadvantaged businesses, while also continuing to make significant strides in contracts in hub zones and women-owned businesses. Right? The the 10 federal agencies received A+ grades, and an additional 12 agencies received an A grade. The federal government overall earned an A on this year's government scorecard, right? So the A+ winners for the Small Business Administration was the SBA, the Department of Agriculture, the Department of Housing and Urban Development, the Department of Interior, the Department of Homeland Security, the National Science Foundation, GSA, Department of Commerce, the Nuclear Regulatory Commission, and the Office of Personnel Management. Every last one of these locations or agencies or departments, you should go look for a job at. Right? You should be looking for a job. And then they broke down the where the money went and so forth. And this article gets longer and longer, but I just want to show you here how everything is broken down. Small disadvantage versus women owned, right? Women owned always be at the bottom though. There's always somebody fighting for the women owned, right? All right, so now I showed you that. Let me find this here. Billions flooding into private AI creation poses regulatory challenges for lawmakers. So again, billions flooding into private AI. Now watch this. We just talked about the Department of Interior. The Interior awards $2 billion cloud hosting contract to 7 vendors. It says the Foundation Cloud Hosting Services 2 contract is a recompete of the $10 billion cloud contract where awarded 10 vendors in 2013. So the companies landed the awards of the Foundation Cloud Hosting Contract 2 was Accenture Federal. They've been hiring like crazy. IBM hiring like crazy. CGI Federal hiring like crazy. SAIC hiring like crazy. Nocent and Zavora and Smarttronics. I will be looking at where they at, right? Those 7 vendors will compete for task orders under the indefinite delivery IDIQ contract. The announcements of these 7 awards details interior statement of work for the contract required cloud license and support services for infrastructure, platform, and software in the cloud environment. I just showed you 10 different ways to go about getting money. 10 different ways. I just gave you 7 right here, and then the other departments are probably 12 or 14 different places that are hiring. All right. So if I'm looking for work right now, and I know Tamika keeps saying, stick with infrastructure, stick with platform, it ain't going nowhere. I'm going to go look at these places. I'm going to go look at infrastructure at Central Federal, cloud. I'm going to go look at GitLab. I'm going to look at DevSecOps, platform engineering, site reliability engineering, DevSecOps, DevOps. I'm even going to get down to specific tools, and I'm gonna break that down too. We're gonna talk about that too, right? All right. So in here it says it it also complements Interior's the Department of Interior's $1 billion cloud contract award to Peraton. Well, I'm gonna go look at Peraton. Why do I need to fight to search for jobs when they already give me the information that I need? I just need to act on that. So Peraton, right? Next one up. The FBI's $8 billion information technology contract is the largest ever. This came out May 28th of 2024. The contract vehicle for IT services supplies is the largest such agreement that the FBI has ever established. The FBI announced awards for the second iteration of a blanket purchase agreement for IT services and supplies Friday, estimating $8 billion, a total of 95 entities. Let's keep adding it up. So we're going to go with 14 plus 95, 109 places. I'm giving you 109 places to go look for a job, right? So 31 businesses and 31 large businesses, 64 small businesses received awards under the sequel to Information Technology and Support Services contract, right? The award marks the largest contract vehicle for IT services ever established by the FBI. All right, so let's see. They don't say what those companies were, but you can go and find out who won the contract at FPDS, who got awarded for this 8 billion. So here we go. We got 8 billion that came in for that. All right. So here we know Accenture Federal, IBM, and we know that's over the next 10 years. So who gonna be employed for the next 10 years? We talked about being a W-2 millionaire in 10 years. Here you go. This is how you do it. You don't have to fight to look for work. You don't have to fight to get skills. I've laid out the blueprint over and over and over and over again. Now all you have to do is execute. That's all you have to do. All right. This contract here is 95 entities, 31 large businesses, 64 of those businesses are small. We like the small. And it says uh the efforts to create the vehicle began in 2021. They don't say how long it's going to be, but I guarantee you at least 5 years. At least 5 years. So we can say I've given you 10 to 15 years. Let's play with that. Maybe 10 to 12. 10 to 12 years worth of skills that you need to get and work that you could be doing. Because in our journey, our 3 to 5 years is our foundational. But this next 10 years, that midterm, and then after you hit that midterm, you get into that 10 to 15 years where you become, it's kind of senior, not senior, well, principal, not principal, senior, not senior. Well, you'll be senior. But that long term, that 20 to 30, I'm showing you how to become a millionaire in 10. By the time you hit the 20 to 30, you should be a multimillionaire. No questions asked. No questions asked. Right? All right. So working here, moving up to here, being dominant as we go along here. This staff, principal, tech system lead, or tech lead. We wanna knock these out the park right here. This is when we start. This is when we start being the only candidate. They was like, well, we were looking at multiple candidates, but you're the top runner. You should be the top runner just based on conversation and resume. I'm top dog based on conversation and resume. That's what you want. Is the pressure on? Absolutely. Do you need to show up? Absolutely. Are you gonna show up? Absolutely. You take no prisoners in the interview process. I'm coming to destroy the interview. You remember back in the day when the droid first came out and it was like droid. Remember that? You should be like that. Destroy. Literally destroy. You want to destroy the interview. I ain't saying do bad. I'm saying do exceptionally well. And I've given you tips in the meetups on how to do that. All right. So a lot of times people be like, oh my goodness, you're talking about working for the government. Well, let's talk about it. Elon just won another massive military contract, this time for satellites. Space Force will send 70 million of Musk Starshield satellites. This was in 2023. He is one of the biggest, biggest users of the federal government. The Pentagon to spend 900 million on this through 2028. When 2024, you can still go work at SpaceX. Money sitting out there. All right. Another one. Elon Musk, SpaceX, Tesla get far more government money than NPR. Musk too is the beneficiary of public and private partnerships. They're talking about Elon Musk and him on NPR on this one. Elon Musk payout has a $50 billion hand in whether or not he remains the world's richest person. Let's look and see what he got. They say in 2022, NPR reported 309 million in revenue and its noted 80,000 grant from National Endowment. But he's saying that they got more money. SpaceX and them got more money than all that. So it says SpaceX primarily. I hate these little things here. SpaceX racking up 15.3 billion in awards contracts since 2023. Billions flowing into private AI. You think he's not a part of that? I talked about this Department of Interior and who's getting money and the FBI. Okay, so Tamiki showed us the money. You talked about wealth. We gave a range. how to get started in it, right? 134,000 to 320. That's just to get you started, to get you in, let's get you flowing, let's get you building wealth, let's set up your foundational skills, let's set up your three bucket system, let's go ahead and get your IRA, your HSA, your 401k set up. Let's get it maximizing, uh, let's get maximizing our contributions. We then turn around and take that and then roll into, okay, we got maximum contributions. We maximizing all these things. The next thing we want to do now is we want to now move into what? We want to move into increasing our wealth and maintaining our wealth too, right? And you can have multiple buckets. You can have a high yield savings account. You can do all these things, brokerage account, everything, right? So I found this article. Guess who featured in this article? This is from 2022. This is what I think you come in as you start leaning towards upper management or start after about 10 years or so, you may become an architect. It depends on you too, how aggressive you are. But here's where I say right here in this article, is system architect a role or a skill? So they did a poll. They said it's equally both. It could be a skill, it could be a role, but most people lean towards equally both. But you know who's featured in this article? You know who's featured in this article? We got Rodrigue right here saying what he says about it, right? But here's somebody else. I know y'all know this person. I do. Tamika Reed. Y'all know her? I know her. I know Tamika Reed, right? Tamika Reed is a principal, this is in 2022, a principal DevOps engineer for various DoD agencies. At least that's her official title. Her interests span a wide range of topics, including space program, OpenShift, quantum computing, DevSecOps, and Linux. I think y'all have heard me say these things before. I've never changed. I've always been the same. Told you the same things over and over again, not changing. From my conversation with her, it's clear to me that Tamika is a DevOps expert and a human systems engineer. As her day job, Tamika designs Kubernetes clusters for the Air Force vendors. She writes documentation for cloud migration, cloud deployment, security standards, and hardening. She leads teams creating automation, doing cloud migration, designing pipelines with GitLab CI and Jenkins. She's also the founder and CEO of Women in Linux and champions advocacy for the next generation of technologists. She founded Women in Linux in her experience, blah blah blah. Tamika says being able to articulate the big picture is half of the job of designing systems. I think when you're able to articulate a big picture to someone who doesn't have the same kind of in-depth knowledge of technology as you, that's when you know you really understand the problem. Always be the solution. Now, you say, Tamika, what are you talking about? Be that solution. Well, let's go here. We're going to tie this all together. Be the solution. Be the solution. Let's make it bigger. Be the solution, right? Be the solution. Pick a cloud, any cloud, Linux, any version, agile, operating system, programming, Rust, Python, Rust, Python. You should know Bash automatically, right? Networking, security, Kubernetes, containers, architecture, version control. Be the solution. And these are fundamentals that you should understand. And you're going to always lean on these throughout. All right. So let's get back to it. What else did Tamika say? All right. Tamika loves experimenting with different technologies, but she loves teaching about them more. So you could probably catch her speaking events or tech events. She also gives talks on YouTube on how to transform your career trajectory by immersing yourself in tech. Hmm. So architecture is the foundation underneath IT operation. The roles and responsibilities of architect include forming a human connection between operations and the executive IT professionals. Agile, right? Agile. right? This was posted in January 26th of 2022. Um, does this sound familiar if you've been to the meetups? If you've been on this show, I didn't change nothing. This has been still been the same. Still been the same, right? Still been the same. All right. So now let's talk about certifications. We talked about where the money at, being the solution. We talked about what companies. I gave you 108 companies tonight. But let's talk about these certifications. So from the DoD perspective, here is the certifications that I'll put that right now, that they want, right? Here's the certifications that they want. Level 1, level 2, level 3, right? And then they talk about IAM level. Up here they talk about IAT level, then IAM level, and IASAE levels, and then CSSP level, right? And then manager and auditor. And so you can go look at these and treat these like your career trajectory if you want to, if you really want to. Your CISSP, you probably need about 5 years. So you can look at this like, here's my beginner, here's my middle, here's my end. Security Plus is kind of like beginner, middle. And then you add on one of these, pick a cloud, any cloud, right? See that Cloud Plus, or you could go with AWS or Azure or GCP. And then you can hop down here and lean towards security. I think every engineer needs to understand security, from the compliance automation to understanding just compliance in general. I just think that just makes you a better engineer, a better manager, and so forth. And then they come down here to being an analyst and infrastructure support right here again, back to infrastructure, just not going anywhere, right? All right, so then let's talk about the free certification and course evaluate your career. So this came out March 8th or 2024 from Coursera. And it's in here they talk about IT certifications versus certificate versus certificate courses. And they break down the difference between those. I'm not gonna sit here and read all this to you. But then they talk about CompTIA certifications, and then they talk about free certifications for specific platform and vendors. They got Oracle Cloud Data Management, the Linux Foundation, AWS. They left out Red Hat and so forth. I think it may be down here under IT certifications now. So then they got Meta, IBM, Google, Microsoft, and then free IT courses, and they leave out Linux on here. Of course they do. Most people always do. And then they talk about like cyber for everyone, cryptography, Python, Agile with Elation and Elation Jira, programming in cloud, and then benefits of free training in IT. And they walk you through that and which jobs can benefit from free IT training, service help desk, IT technician, and so forth, and how to pass and start earning your IT credentials today with Coursera, right? So again, it's just a general overview. They left out Linux on a lot of that, so yeah, it's okay. But it may this may not be Linux may not be for everybody, so that's why I want to talk about it. So in this article, the best Linux search to get in 2024. This is from somebody else's standpoint. It's not necessarily my standpoint. So, you know, please be advised. This is somebody else's. I'm just going along with what they're saying. Well, I'm just reading along what they're saying. I'm not going along with it. All right. So True List 2024 Linux stats, statistics. I went through that one already. It says looking directly at professional usage, Stack Overflow found that 26% of professionals work with Linux in their primary job. Critical infrastructure like firewalls, servers, IoT devices primarily run on Linux, making the OS more prevalent platform and so forth. ZipRecruiter shows 44 job postings. Results include Linux. Admittedly, these numbers include entry level, intermediate, and senior. However, it still remains a sought after skill set in today's market. Given the vast majority of advertisements that come in between 72 to 135, again, I'm going 135 to 320K. And then here they show you the yearly salaries. On average, 106,000. And the best Linux search for beginners, LPI Essentials. Then they start talking about the exam and breaking it down and the domains to come to your Linux Plus. And then they go into intermediate, where you get your LPIC. Um, and they leave out the RHCSA because they jump right into the advanced with the RHCE. So the RHCA will be your beginner intermediate, if you ask me. And then your RCE would be your advanced, right? And so they just talk about it, your Oracle Linux cert, and then so forth and so on. All right. So again, where you gonna start your foundation and where you're gonna build that up at. And then last but not least, let me see. Make sure I got all my links that I want to get out tonight. Oh, okay. I did want to talk about this one. On the federal contracting side, I went and found black owned businesses on the federal contracting side. I wanted to blow this up a little bit and talk about I'm curious to learn more about black owned businesses and fascinated to learn the first black insurance company was founded in 1810 and that 1821 Thomas Jennings was the first African American to be granted a patent for for what is a predecessor of the dry cleaning methods. These fascinating insights truly highlight the resilience and determination of black owned businesses to me, right? So here they say in 2020, 140,000 black or African American owned businesses across all sectors of the economy with an annual sales exceeding 141 billion. All right. Then they talk about the federal contract data in FedMind platform in FY 2023. 5,371 businesses won 9.99 billion, almost 10 billion in federal contracts, which is less than 1.3% of the $774 billion in awards for FY 2023. Total contract awards that was awarded in 2023. Looking at the historical data, the dollars awarded remain relatively constant, around 9.5. However, the total contracts awarded have seen a growth of 12.4%. It is important to keep in mind there's no specific set asides for black owned businesses, so it's important to understand that the set aside, if any, that is used. So it says here the set asides for small business set aside at 1.5, 8A sole source 1.2, 8A competed 0.7, no set aside use 0.64, disabled veteran 0.50, small business women owned 0.10 billion, hub zone, and so forth. And we keep going. But women small owned sole source 0.02 billion, right? 0.02 billion. You may not can see that. Let me blow that up. All right. This is showing where them dollars at. And I can't sort this by larger number, but we could just kind of eyeball it here. And we can see the Department of Veteran Affairs at 231,000 in fiscal year. Was that fiscal year 2024, is shelling out a lot of money. The Department of Defense 76 million. I'm assuming it's in millions and not billions. Yeah, I'm assuming this is in millions. All right. Then we have GSA at 118 and Homeland Security at 173. Health and Human Services at 129. So these are the ones that you want to be paying attention to. Pay attention to them. All right. Understanding the products and services sourced from Black owned business is crucial, keeping in mind that it will vary across different government agencies. The next codes or the top next categories include administration and management, general management consulting services, computer system design, facility support, engineering services, and construction. So if you're going in to be a contractor, this is where you should be at. Here's the top 10 Black owned prime contractors: Ranger Land, Medical Place, Lazarus Energy, Apogee Energy, and this is my assumption. This is what this is. Let me read it. Yeah. I would like to recognize the top Black owned businesses in FY 2023. So, yeah, government contracting. This is the top right here. So, if you never heard of these companies, I just gave you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 more companies. 10 more companies to choose from, right? So you can go look those companies up and see what they got for jobs. Let's go. Let's tap into one. Ranger Land Systems. Careers. Let's see what they got. Got something in Huntsville. Data entry. El Paso, Eagle Pass, Texas. Jasper. Heavy equipment. But they got something. May not have a lot, but they got something. Let's see. Where's my. No. Where's my link at? Yeah. Medical Place, Lazarus Energy, Apogee Energy Engineering. You can go look that one up. And Donald L. Mooney Enterprises and Magnificus Corporation. Magnificus. Medical Services. And here's the jobs that they got open. Other practitioners, therapists, nurses, dentists, administrative, program manager. They don't give much, they just tell you the email. All right, so you can check out those Black owned companies to see if they got some jobs. This is how you find out. You know they won awards already, so they already have a history. All right. Now, where we at? To end this show for the next 30 minutes, I want to do a review quickly. I'm giving you my take, nobody else's, to show you exactly how some of you could end up on the wrong side of wealth. Not that anything this young lady did was wrong, but I'm just here to kind of show you some things on how this money gets skewed.
A of my pay slip. So basically, my paycheck. How much money do I really get in each of my paycheck? And what is it before tax and after tax? And what are the deductions and the itemized things that need to be taken out of that paycheck every single time? And how much of it is left to send to me?
All right, so here's why I'm still broke at 300K. Nobody believes these things. They think people are overspending. She needs management. How dare she be broke at 300K? Well, my thing is, like I said before, depends on where that person's living at, depends on where what their rent is, depends on the taxes. I mean, I could, and it depends on how her 300K coming in, right? Is her 300K all salary, or is it 300K with um was it 180K and then RSUs and so forth? And they have a vesting schedule. Is it a bonus? Is she 100? Did she get $200,000 or $50,000 sign on bonus and $50,000 in stock, and they got to be vested over 4 years? We can go on with that. All right, so let's blow this up and let's talk about it. It's only 11 minutes.
And because I receive a lot of questions in my comments about like, oh, what happened to your budget? Like, how is it that you're making 300K a year and you're still suffering, struggling in the US? Like, what's wrong with you? So I figured I want to do an episode on my paycheck breakdowns of this topic, so that I'm hoping to answer most of the questions on that front. My next episode, I will do a budgeting overview, basically my expense overview, like how much money I'm spending on every single one of the item, like daycare, preschool, rents, things like that, cars, things like that in my next video. Because I don't have limited time today. So before further ado, let's dive right into this. So I'm not going to share my screen on my actual paycheck because that's a lot of like sensitive information. So I'm just going to read out loud a lot of the numbers while I look at it, but you would just be seeing my face. I'm going to screen share my paycheck. Hope you can understand. Okay, so I'm looking at my most recent paycheck from pay period April 21st to May 4th. And my gross pay is $7,692.31. And there's a pre-tax deductions of $982.98.
All right, so I'm writing it down. Pre-tax. Oh, at $982. Let's do some sense. Let's do 983. Her gross pay was 7K. They still got to take out for taxes. So she got 700. She got $983.
There's employee taxes of 1,726.
We're gonna go with employee taxes. Uh, I'll just say 1,800 for right now.
And 32 cents. And there's post-tax deductions of 369. I think that's for my pet insurance. And the net.
All right, she got pet insurance of 369. All right.
I receive, which is the amount that I receive in my bank account, is $4,979.32. So my gross pay,
I don't know what that
original number is set in my of 369. I think that's for my pet insurance. And the net pay I receive which is the amount that I received in my bank account, is $4,979.
All right. After taxes, she receives basically 10K a month after taxes. Right? 4,900 and something dollars. She started out at 7,983 comes out off the rip. So we're gonna move 1,000. So she had 6,000. Then another 1,800 comes out, right? That's 1,800 comes out. Um yeah, 1,800 comes out and 369. So another 2,100 comes out, right? And she gets 4,900 and some odd dollars per pay period. Now, I tell y'all all the time, depending on where you live, and depending on nobody, and I'm glad she even said that she put something pre-tax in, because some of y'all be like, I'm not gonna put nothing in for pre-tax. You gonna keep the money. So you ain't gonna have nothing for retirement. No, I don't need nothing for retirement. Tamika, I got Bitcoin. Tamika, I got all my stuff in crypto. Crypto is returning 50% on the dollar. Blah 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 blah. I get my money back. Blah 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 blah. Okay, cool. Whatever.
Cents. So my gross pay original number is $7,692, and my net pay is $4,979.32. Okay, and my year-to-date number is the gross pay is okay, one third. The gross pay is 134 521 $134,521 85 cents gross pay year to date. So it's like if you see this, you'll be like, "Whoa, that's like a lot of money just for the first half of the day already." It's like over 134K, but there's a pre-tax deduction of over 11K, and employee taxes. Okay, employee taxes that I have paid this year is 38K dollars, and there's a post-tax deductions of $23,036, and my net pay. So out of all that 134K, my net pay is 61K $953. So it's like less than half. It's like 40% or something of my gross pay.
All right. So this is what people don't understand. You can make 300K, but after they hit you with the taxes and the yin and the yang and the kippy kippy cow, but wicked wow, wiki, it's gone. It's gone. And people be like, you don't know how to budget your money. No. Most people in these conversations don't include pre-taxes. They just go by it's 300,000. You gonna get, 70%, and you budget. Most people go off 300K and they try to budget on what 300K divided by 12 is. So if we did that, I'm gonna tell you what most people go on. I'm assuming it's that 7K. Oops, I've been compromised. Let's go. What is it? Oh, calculator. Oh, that's not the calculator I want. All right, so 300K divided by 12. Well, yeah, this is the number that most people go off of right here. 300K divided by 12. She can't live off of 25,000 a month. She doing it wrong. No, no, no. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. That's not what it is. 17.5, and but she get hit with taxes. She get hit with taxes. Her gross pay a month is 7, so it's some more taxes out of there. I just took out 0.7. She got more taxes. She got more taxes. And I'm assuming she in California, so she get hit with the yin and the yang. Let's go back and listen to her. Let's finish listening to her, because a lot of people they don't hear, they just hear she don't budget. And I'm like, nah, she budget.
And okay, what else? So basically, my employee taxes is like a combination of OASDI, Medicare, federal withholding, state tax, CASDI. There's like 5 items under the employee taxes. And my pre-tax deductions include 401k, dental, medical, vision amounts. So 4 items for pre-tax deductions. My post-tax deductions are pet insurance, so pet insurance, and also there's RSU offset, which is taxes paid on what withheld on RSU stocks.
So she got stocks, and she got to pay
so
those taxes because once they vest, she got to pay them. They vest they invest over 3 to 4 years. Typically, it's been 4, but some people do 3. Right, for full vesting.
I will breakdown of how much am I supposed to get gross pay, like before all the deductions and after all the deductions. And you see it's like about 40% of the original gross pay. So if, let's say my annual package is 300K, the most I can get is 40% of that. So it's about, like 120K or something.
Yeah, so she's saying the most she could ever bring home is 40% of this 300K. And that's where the problem lies. So we'll say 300%, 300,000 times 0.4. 120,000. Now take that and divide that by 12. 10,000, like I said. 10,000. Out of the 300,000, that she ain't getting that 25. She getting 10,000 a month. Now everybody say she should cut the pet insurance out. That's gonna get her $4,428 over a year, or $369 a month. Could she be investing $369? Absolutely.
Yeah, which is about right. So it's about 10K a month. So my actual paycheck is about 10K a month. The money that I get in my bank account. And to be honest, my annual package of 300K is, so it's broken down into like salary, bonus, and RSUs, where my base salary is 200K. My bonus, my targeted bonus is 10%. So at most, I'll get 10% of my base salary as a bonus, which is 20K. But that would be at the most. If the company is not doing well, like if the market performance is not good, which is the current case, stock performance is really bad currently. So we get way less than that targeted bonus. So maybe like 3% or.
And that's the trick. I'm getting this bonus, and they got me in here in this bonus. So the targeted bonus may be blah, blah, blah. And you're going to get all this money and you're going to get this. But guess what? If the company don't do well and you're working for the company and you're out there doing your thing and it doesn't do well, your bonus don't do well. So that target of 300 goes out the window. It's a fluctuation.
something like that. You can consider it as like almost negligible. And the other 80K is supposed to be the RSUs, which has depreciated significantly this past 2 years. So the original package amount that I got was 80K RSUs. Now it has depreciated to be, I think, less than half. So maybe like 40K, let's say 40K at the most. So the real kind of value that I get, the real money that I get each year is about 250K these days because of all the, poor market performance combined. So yeah, so to be honest, every single month.
What she said was she don't work for Nvidia, so we can rule Nvidia out.
That I get in my bank account is about 10K. Okay, you might still say, okay, that's like a lot of money. Income every single month. 10K is like you can buy a lot of things with it already. You can live a good quality of living already, but without kids, that's like a beautiful life, right? Without kids. But do take into consideration, I have 2 kids and a dog, a big dog, golden retriever at home that I need to take care of and support. And I do have a husband, but he is a small business owner, and these days his business is not doing very well.
He's an entrepreneur, and his business is not doing well, so he can't help cover some of the bills. So guess who it falls on? It falls on Goldilocks over here. It falls on Goldilocks. Goldilocks got to take care of the slack. Oh, and he's a small business owner. He can't watch the kids because she got daycare. Didn't say they had to go somewhere. They may have somebody come in, but she gotta. They gotta eat.
So you can consider him as like, not contributing as much to the household income. So 10K is like kind of our household income. And before I have like the actual numbers of how much we spend every single month, at a high level, these are the items that are major expenses for us. My 2 kids' daycare expenses. My daughter goes to preschool, which is $2,080 a month.
Whoop, down to 8. Whoop, down to 8. Whoop whoop.
My son goes to the family daycare, which is about $2,500 a month.
Whoop, another down to 6. Down to 6. 4,000 on kids already. We ain't even fed them yet. We ain't even fed them jokers yet and clothed them. Let's go.
So that is $4,500, about $4,500, and our rental monthly rent is about $3,000.
Whoop, 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 whoop. Down, we down 80. We down what, 7,500? We still ain't got no clothes yet. Still ain't got no clothes yet. Who feeding that dog? Can I pet that dog? Can I pet that dog? Can I pet that dog? Yes, 4 feet. It's $1 to pet the dog. Yes. Whoop.
So do the math. So 45 plus 30, that's like $7,500 a month off already, just on my kids' daycare cost and my and our rental expense. And we are.
Can you say Mr. Mom? Can somebody scream out Mr. Mom? Mr. Mom, sir. The wheels on the bus go round and round, round and round, round and round. The wheels on the bus go round and round. You better get on Gracie's corner. Can you say Mr. Mom? Sir. Say what's 4,500.
with about 25K. No, 2,500 for a month to, cover all the expenses. And that's not to include the cars, expense on cars and groceries, eat outs, things like that. So
You don't eat out. You don't eat out. Ramen. Husband gonna have husband gonna have to stay at home. The nuclear family. No, they nuked the family. That's what they did. They nuked the family. What? I this is what I be talking about. People be talking about, no, Tamika, you're out here, you're trying to tell people they need to do this and that. I'm just trying to open your eyes up to how money can go quickly. And people would be like, yo, she wrong and blah 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 blah, and she's like the modern woman by the drink, but the whatever. But somebody gonna have to stay at home. It's the person who don't make the money. And she out here, and let's be clear. Let's be clear. Some of that money go to support his business too. Let's be clear. If he got a website, hopefully he running there at home. And I don't know what he do. I don't know. I don't know. But 4,500 for daycare, it's a lot.
do a more detailed breakdown of the monthly expenses next time when I have the
Oh yeah, and they got cars too.
numbers pulled out, but these are the major expenses on top of my head already. And if you're asking, okay, you're making 300K a month, 300K a year package, why you're still suffering? Here is why we're still suffering in the Bay Area with.
In the Bay Area, like I said,
the 300K income.
Jerome, the husband ain't no drizzle time. He about to be fizzle. He about to be homeless. I could already hear her now. Look, I go to work. I come home. I bring in 10. You come home. You go to work. You come home. You bring nothing. You are sitting up here talking to me about drizzle. You fizzle. You gain nothing. You bring us nothing. You can't even buy ramen. You can't even cook.
A lot of it is first, a lot of this has depreciated, and second, all the tax deductions, pre-tax deductions, taxes, and post-tax deductions are already taking about 60% of my gross pay. So even if I make 200K salary a year, the amount that I get after all these, deductions is about 40% of that. So it's about 80K that arrives in my pocket.
This is why we're talking about, if you're going to be overemployed, you need to do 1099 and then W-2. That's why we're talking about. This is a great example of what I've been saying. You can go get 2 W-2 jobs and be overemployed, but the taxes, they're going to snatch a ride. So you do better by doing the 1099 and the W-2 in order to do that. Or have no kids. Let me say. Or you got to figure it out. I was going to say something else, but I'll be nice tonight.
That's like available for spending every single year. So 80K, a family of 4 and a dog living on 80K, cash a year in the Bay Area is quite tight, I would say. Um, yeah, so what do you think? And not to mention, we live in a very, very kind of below average apartment with only $3,000 a month for a 2 bedroom, 1 bath.
A 2 bedroom, 1 bath at $3,000 a month. Gone over because she only had 2,500 left. She's suffering, so that husband better be doing something because the 2,500 is gone. That's all she had left.
So the market price for 2B, 1B in the Bay Area, I would say is about like $4,000 something at a minimum. And for us, since we got the lease contract from a friend that signed it about like 10 years ago, so we have a good price point that is from like an older contract that we do take advantage of. But even with that, it's $3,000 a month for 2B1Bs, and it's tiny. It's like 800 square feet for 2 bedrooms and 1 bathrooms. So definitely, it's not some um, luxury experience. It's pretty, I would say, below average. Everywhere feels like storage at home to me, and like a Holiday Inn hotel feels so much nicer to me these days. Yeah, but anyways, this is the reason why that we are still struggling in the Bay Area with a household income of 300K. And tell me what you think. And does this answer your questions on why? And also, please subscribe. I will.
My favorite part of the show is reading the comments. Let's blow them up. Let's see what they say. The wicked comments. No amount of money can save irresponsible people. You can earn $1 million a year and still have the same problem. The problem is not money, it is you. Chinese people are notorious for living below their means, and most foreigners at home. But you are all different. If you make 120K after taxes, your rent is only 3,500. It is no way you should be struggling. The husband needs to just let the business go for now and take care of the kids. That'll free up 4,500. You need to get rid of that insurance on that dog. And the only health insurance you need is for your children. Chinese people never get sick, almost never get sick. You really don't need no health insurance until you get like 50. Now, these are comments now. I'm reading the comments. And that's a conservative age. You can always go to a free clinic if emergency happens. But paying $1,000 on insurance when you are in your late 20s, early 30s is crazy. I'm in my 40s and I go to the free clinic. And when they ask you for your W-2, just tell them you will being it next time. I guess bring it next time, and the clinic will charge you a copay fee of $20. Then he's telling them like this: you and your husband make enough money, you should be able to invest at least 12,000 to 20K a year between a 401K, a Roth IRA, a HSA, and an index fund. If you cut expenses and invested $12,000 to $20,000 in the stock market, you'll easily be millionaires at 55. I made 45K a year after taxes, and I'm investing 24K. I have no debt, but he don't say where he live at. He don't say where he live at. Yes, I will be a millionaire and will still not be satisfied at that and keep going and working harder to earn more. I will be sending my kids to the best schools, providing them the best environment, everything, and still not be satisfied. I will be a millionaire by 40 and still not satisfied. My problem and the unwillingness to settle for that is for what I will have. What I have will keep me going till I change the world for being better while you're happy at your 45K living in your parents' basement and and laugh at me for making 300K. Damn, you working for the government. See, this is a kind of silly nothing video. Her family is doing fine. She actually is netting 65%, not 40%, stated in the video. 10,788 a month on a 200K salary minus 7,500 rent and daycare nets 32.8. Fine, go ahead, spend all of that and say the rest, which is bonus RSU 6K, 40K, blah 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 blah. Again, people not listening. My husband makes 155 a year and our net income is 10,300. Your numbers don't add up. Of course, we moved from Texas to Texas from California. So there's no state income tax. We don't invest in our 401k, just real estate with 3% interest. We're still able to save 4K a month if we splurge since we don't have kids, car payment or debt except monthly bills. The two go to golden children which don't eat much. I say I say move somewhere else, and husband needs to stay at home and take care of the kids. This is what people were saying. I don't understand all of this. Most people don't. You earn 300K but only receive 120, so you give away the difference in something called tax. What is all this tax for, and why do you give it all away? It makes no sense. I have lived and worked in Dubai in the last 30 years, and I never paid a single tax. No one here has to pay tax on their income. It might just be you're not living in the right place. Guys, I misspoke. The pet insurance is $3.69 a month. So it's not that. The pet insurance is $3.69. They no. Some of them have told her to leave her husband, and in the other reactions, actually they have. 300,000 my ass. That equates to 11,538 per biweekly pay period. I hope you don't work in finance. You're clueless about taxes. After she's reading it off the statement, literally off the statement. This is what cracks me up about people. She's literally reading it off the statement. I'm retired with 4K a month. Am I supposed to feel sorry for you? No, you didn't even have to watch it. No, some of them have. It's just not in this one. And this is where people get wrong about what pre-tax is. People don't understand what pre-tax is because most people don't invest max out their 401k. So if she's at 23,000, if she maxed out her 401k every month, it's 1916. She's only putting in 982. She only puts in 982. She can't afford to put in she can't afford to put in 1916. She only put in 982. Wait a minute. It's per pay period. 982 per pay period. So she may make it. Hold on. Because it's per pay period. 1964. So she put in 1964. 23,568. She probably don't put in all the way at the last end of that month. So she maxed out her 401k. So she put in that's the out of that 10,000. I mean, out of that, yeah, that pre-tax and all of that stuff. That's where part of that goes. Because I think she said she's at 11,000 pre-tax. Because her net pay comes out to be 134,000. Oops. I'm just playing with numbers here. No, her net pay. I only need to divide it by taxes already been taken out. Yeah, 11,500 minus her 1917 minus her 4,500. Oh, did they not take off my 1917? Yeah, 1917, and then her 4,500, 5,083, and she didn't include her cars. She didn't include her cars, right? So 5,083. She didn't include her cars. Her pet insurance is $3.69 a month. So okay, I'll be probably per pay period $3.69. So the cars and the food, that's what we need to look at next. So I'll go back and see if she got an update on that, because she got 10,000 a month. So it's still cars and food. Yep. Imagine this: she divorces her husband and has to pay alimony. I can feel that in my spirit. Yep. Well, not only that, she will have to pay whatever interest, whatever gain she got out of her 401k too. And because you are married and you got some gains in that 401k, you don't have to pay taxes on that money coming out. Yep. So that's it for the show tonight, y'all. I want to bring y'all that to show y'all um how 300K can go real quickly, depending on where you live, depending on what you gotta pay, depending on what that looks like. A lot of people don't understand. A lot of people don't understand, like when it comes down to paying taxes and 401k and insurance and HSAs and how the RSUs work. Are you making your money? What does that look like? A lot of people don't understand that. All right, y'all. It's been real. I will see y'all on Wednesday night at the meetup. For those that want to come out to the meetup on Wednesday night, remember you're only one skill away from 200K. And only two kids away from being broke. All right, y'all.